Hello future tech leaders, I am Sindhuja. Based on my own experience, I know that learning the right skills can shape our future. What if I say learning was as thrilled as the tech world itself? There we go. A cloud foundation, that's exactly what you will experience. From day one, you will be immersed in the interactive sessions and expert-led courses that covers most of the widely used technologies in the zone of data science to cloud computing, which brings more light to the life of a techie. I'm so excited to help you and unlock the true potential of a technology. Well, then why to wait? Let's see what it unfolds.
Today we are going to look at the sourcing request template. I made a mistake. This would be Wednesday. This would be Thursday. Okay, so we did not had cancelled your session on. Yeah, so let's go ahead and create sourcing request. Before that, any questions? Let's find out sourcing a request template by going to manage, click on templates. We'll be copying the template so that will make our work easier and will modify as per our requirement. Let's open any of the sourcing request project. Let's see how this sourcing request project is. If it is okay, I'm going to copy it. I'll go to the documents. This is dummy. So nothing is there from this sourcing request. So probably it's better to delete this template. So no one is going to use it. Be with pages. Page delete, click OK. Sourcing request template. Sourcing request template. What? Are you going to click open documents? Sourcing request documents, task even. This is also not a one which we are looking for. Sourcing request template YM. And let's start it by the name of the owner as Ariba system and we'll find out. Sourcing request template. Thank you. Thank you. So it's a request. Click on open. This is also a template only. Let me go to sourcing request template. Sync project and then we pick UR. These are all sourcing request templates. Let's select one template. Let's go ahead. Temperature. Thank you. Because I was not getting that sourcing request. That's why I'm searching for this. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I got the template. Sourcing request Sanjay. So I'm going to copy this template. So we're going to create. So basically, my recommendation is when you're having Ariba system provided template, you make the changes and create the sourcing request template. So that's what I'm expecting now. So I'm going to copy the template. Okay. Then sourcing request template. Now I have created a template copying the standard template. Now this template I will be moving into this particular folder. For that, what I am going to do is start by the creation date. Go to the first page. So this is the template, so which I want to move it into where this is center. Okay, so I will drag. I can't hold them. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So many templates are available in this folder. It is taking a time because it has to move the templates inside also. Anyway, let's work on this one. I will try to move after set time. I will do alternative. So what I will do, edit attributes. Now I will start by the creation date. This will be better. I am going to place this item in the Tanjay version 1 folder. When we were not able to use the standard functionality, we had to use some alternative methods to push the data. So I was unable to move this item to the other folder because of a lot of files. The system is going by the creation type. So what I did, I have modified it and used the filter, last modified it. Now these two are coming very close. Then it is easy to move this document into this particular folder. So now all my Sanjays are available. Here, I think it is removed from here also. Let me add that folder to the quick references and I can able to pick that anytime I want to open the template. It is easy for me. Once it moves, then we will discuss about the template. If I remember how the sourcing request we have completed, we created the project sourcing request project. The system asked us to verify sourcing request item. So we went to the document. We have updated what is the line item we are looking for, then submitted the sourcing request for approval. Once it is approved, then sourcing project will get created. That is the requirement which is followed on the sourcing request process. which is a very standard process or even best practices process. Now we are going to create a template replicating the same process. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Sanjay, in this folder I have closing request template Sanjay, both April. Now I am opening it. I am going to, this is the template. At the level, opening a template you might see in a shorter request. This is a compact view. Suppose even when you're creating a project also, if you're not able to find the tabs and all, go to the action, change the display view from compact view to the full view. Then you would able to see the document task. Another detail. Now this is the project name sourcing request ID. This is template ID. We generally don't use it. Now let's explore on the overview side. So this is the template name, original version. After I created and published this one, it will become version 1. I am the owner RNA12 process. Status English ranking. So the ranking will decide where this sourcing template will be available. When I create a test project, for example, I would be seeing this sourcing request somewhere. In the after the alphabetical order, yes, where maybe 2 to 3 pages when I received, I will be seeing it. If I want to bring this up, I have to reduce the ranking out to edit these properties by going to Actions Edit Properties. Okay, so I will be providing the description. This will identify, suppose, when there are 2 templates that are available, how the user is identified which template needs to be used. He will be providing the description like, what is the purpose of this particular description? Let's say so, say request template. For AM. So if I want to assign this permission, so I have created the project once I publish. Maybe I will hand over to the administrator in my client administrator. Then I will assign the owner to him. Then he will have access to the template in the production process status. So this is you can update this process status. Whenever you are searching for this project, what is the process status needs to be looking for. a field that can contain a value that replaces the status of the task in the project. When creating a task template, authors can specify a value for the process status field. When a task permit template is completed in the project, the template task can have been configured with the field setter to set the process status field to a new value as a result of the task completed. For example, when the first task created, contract request project have process status of needs approval via initial value of the field in the project template. When the contract request project approval task completes successfully, the process will change to be approved by default if you want to say need approval. Whenever someone is opening the status, it will show as a needs approval. But this status will get updated when you create. Let us keep it in so. If after I publish the template, when I look at the status of the template, it says that needs approval. However, when I will create one task, approval task, once that is completed, the status will get updated as a approved. That I'm going to show. Now 4540 that we want to test it before. I make the changes, then access control and condition. What is access, control and condition? That is also I'm going to explain now. Click on save. So I'll create a test project just to check the position of the template when the user is selecting where this is located. So he is creating a sourcing request. Then when he goes to the pages, first page, it is not there. Second page not there. Because whatever the rules which we are discussing is same for all the upstream related project. Now this template is available for the users under the fourth page where it is saying A sourcing request template Sanjay 4th April, sourcing template for ATM batch. Now if I amend the ranking to a lower level, then let's see. Now we are in the fourth page. Return to template editor, action edit property. I am adjusting the rank to lower rank 0. And I'll just put 10 also. Click on save. Now create this project. Now you would be seeing it first, second page. So that's why. So how it is decided? For example, this and this template is having this. If you are having a lower rank, this will be displayed first. Even though alphabetically both are same. It will display based on the ranking which you have decided. So the rank will help you to display the item. If I put a minus value, then this will come somewhere here also. Let it be. So that's not a big issue. Now, whenever I go to the projects, once I created the template, I can find out easily. Whenever I go, I am having a sourcing manager permission. So I go to the sourcing. I will select the sourcing project. So being I am having a sourcing manager permission, I am able to see all the project which is created in the system. However, there are some projects which is confidential that has to be accessed only by certain team members. Like in the project when I'm creating, there is a team group in that team members. Whoever I'm adding the team member only, they should only access it, not others will be accessing it. How can I do that? That is via access control. You should be able to do that. By going to the recent, I'll open the template. Under action created properties. Under the access control, leave this to at least to private to team members. Then the projects are created using. This template is only available to the team member whom I have maintained under Teams tab. However, whatever the groups you created, whatever the members you are adding, only these members will be getting a permission to access this presentation. Particular template. That's about access control and second condition, visibility condition. So how? You want the sourcing request to be visible to the user. For example, if I create this sourcing request is specifically for, let's say, South India region or only for India, not for the overseas. How can I do that? I can go to condition. I will be creating a new condition and I'm calling that condition as region is equal to local. I will say all are true field match. Select the field. Select region is equal to select value. Select in. I will be selecting India with the code region code as IND. When I select OK, click OK. Now I have defined the condition which I am going to use under overview. In the condition when region equal to local, then only this template needs to be available for the user. Suppose other than India, if they are creating for another country, US or Europe or something, then I do not want this template to be used by that user. So let us do the testing also for this. Create test project. Using this test project, you can simulate the example of the template usage. It is working fine. You can move and build your template as per your requirement. So let's see. We are showing the template under second page. Okay, I am not seeing my template in second page. This is not visible. Only when it is visible when I select region as IND. Okay, I have selected region as India. Now I should able to see the template in the second page. Thank you. You see here, suppose if I select other than India, Asia Pacific, then I had to remove India. If you maintain both also, it was visible. So when I go to the second page, the template is not available. That way, you can able to control visibility of the template using the conditions created and applying that condition at the overview level. Now we discussed about private to team members and region equal to local. Now, let's see what are all other things are available in the template. When I go to the document, this sourcing request item is available. When I click this one, view details sourcing request items. Because when I am trying to create a brand new template, I was not able to add this particular form. That's why I am using Ariba best practices to create it. Even this project. Also, I was not able to view details. Sourcing project. I don't know how they have added it. So that's the reason. I am using the brand. Okay, now sourcing request is having two things. One is sourcing request item, which does not have any condition, whereas sourcing project is approved when this condition is satisfied. The sourcing project will come. How this condition is satisfied, I am going to do it in task. If you remember, once the sourcing request is approved, then the sourcing project creation is coming. So when I go to the task approval for sourcing request item, I am going to edit the task. If you come down, you will be seeing, once this task has been approved, what is the field stating? You are saying process status equal to approved. When this status is reached, then I am going to get the sourcing request visible only when the condition is created. Sorry, when the condition is approved. Okay, I'll go to the task. If I do not apply this condition, let's say, if I remove this condition, then even without approval of the sourcing request, the sourcing team can create the sourcing project. But that is not an expected behavior. So we want only when the sourcing request is approved. We want the visibility of the sourcing project. Let's create one test. Before I publish, I have not applied any condition. When I click create my test project, put some values. Okay, then remove this value. When I select India, go to the second page. I am in the template. Click on create test. Create test. When I go to the document, I should see sourcing project. So then, user sourcing team can open the project. They can create it even without approval also. However, if put the condition in the template as is approved, then let's open my test project. Now when you go to the document, you will only see sourcing request item. Let's go back to the template. Now let's discuss about the task. These are all 3 tasks. Prepare sourcing request item. Where you see red asterisk, that means it is mandated. We are expecting that end user has to fill in the details in the sourcing request item. However, I want this item to be non-mandatory. How do I do that? When I edit the task, I'll go here required. There is a field called required. I'm marking that as a no. Then I'm clicking as OK. So this task to become optional. Then the user no needs to complete it. But approval is mandatory. Once he is sending an approval, once it is approved, the email will the project creation will come up here. Notification for sourcing. This is also edit the task. So when you open the task on the left hand side top, you will be understanding what type of a task it is. It is a notification task. It's going to send to the recipient, sourcing manager. Due date after the parent phase. Select notification, notification frequency once. Auto start the schedule, yes. When the predecessor project approval happens. When this particular task has been completed. Then the task this start is going to be auto started and it is going to send a frequency of once. A notification to the sourcing manager. What it will say? Notification for sourcing request has been created. Please look for the sourcing project creation. Like that, a notification will go to the sourcing team and they will open the relevant project and create the sourcing project. That is the task created during sourcing request. Any questions? We are going to discuss about how to create the task, how many different types of tasks. At that document task, all those things in contact workspace template, we are going to explain in detail. We are going to create all the conditions, everything we are going to do that. The rules same for sourcing project also or any other upstream project. This remains. Same one. Creating a task, adding an approval task, making a condition applicable visibility condition, ranking template name, template description. These are all the important things. Let's go to team. So I want to add additional team members. I will click on edit. I will be calling sourcing manager by clicking and add group sourcing manager. So I will be giving a system. Permission of active team member to the sourcing. So with this permission, the members, whoever I'm adding into this particular group, they would be able to create tasks, edit, document, create or edit. Team members, all those things they should be able to do. That now this sourcing manager, I want to apply to the approval task. When I go to the task, approval for sourcing request, edit the task. Currently the approvers, here is when I select parallel. Actually there is no approvers are available. So here I am going to select the approver by selecting search more sourcing manager. There are 2 groups which is showing. One is normal group, second is project group. Normal group is system level group. That is a commonly which we are assigning this permission to the end users. Other one is project group. So inside this project, I have created a group called sourcing manager. This will be accessed only within this project only. It is not available for any other project. So I will be selecting this particular group. So by adding a project group here, what is the advantage I get? I don't ask my admin to add permission to him. So I will go to the team member under the sourcing manager. I will add the member directly here. So that way I don't need to depend on my HR team to assign roles to the end users. But that permission is only available for this template. Usage only, not for any other project. Similarly, I also want to add finance team into here because anytime they want to verify also. So I'll just put the finance team. Because I am restricting my template visibility only to the team members only. If I do not add any members, only this person and this person only are the person with the template created group. Only they will be able to access the project. That's why I'm adding whatever the needed persons who has to access the sourcing request. I'm going to include it. Okay, now even template creator is not needed. Edit project owner. I think template created is coming recently. If I assign any member here, that is going to be defaulted by default. So if you don't add anything, then a user when he is creating a sourcing request, he is going to define it. Now I want to kind of reminder. I want to give it to him. Hey, please verify the team members and add the team members. So how do I do? That I'll go to the task. I'm going to create a task called actions to do tasks. To do tasks means telling the users to perform check team members. So I'm saying this project is restricted to team. Members, hence whoever needed access. Please include them as members in team, or can you go steps? Go to team tab. Add member a client as relevant group. Okay, so this will be created. Who is the owner? Of the task project owner observer not required. Due date is not required. It is not a mandatory. Okay, this is again I'm keeping as an optional only. Currently the ranking is party, so that will be positioned as a fourth task. I'll click OK, create check team member. However, this I want to be the first, so I'm going to drag and drop OK. Now, if you verify the task, the ranking is adjusted automatically, which will be having the lower rank. Now I am good with my template. So what I am going to do that action publish once I make a publish. The system, the template is available for the users to create. I have defined a condition that it is only for India region. So let's go ahead and publish it. Now I am going to create a sourcing request. Create sourcing request. Sourcing request using old template for April 24. Test project no. I will be selecting some copy from project. So that all the values are copied over, then I'm going to remove that. Now India, reason is only available. The project reason contract renewal RFP. Now I should be selecting my relevant template. So this will come as somewhere. Sourcing a request. This one, Sanjay, 4th April 2021. Click on create. Now, currently the status of this project is need approval. 10,000 is the spend and other quantities are available. When I go to the document, sourcing request item only. When I go to the task, only one task is mandatory. Now let's complete one by one. Click team members. System is saying, hey, please verify the team member. When I click view task details, system will give me message also. This project is restricted to team members who even needed access to. Please include them as the go to the step and add the team. So I will say mark started. Okay. I'm going to do that activity. Now I will find out from the sourcing team asking him, hey, who are all relevant for this particular template. I will find out their names. Then I will come to the Teams tab, Action Edit. So Finances, I will select the users from here. Finance is here. It is the finance guy. So I'm going to click on Done. Sourcing Main Manager is click on Search. I think here it is approved. Let's select Enterprises. Venki is the sourcing manager. So what will happen this person when he log in? He will be getting access to the project. Click OK. Now for us to complete it, I am adding myself also. Sourcing manager so that I can able to complete the transaction. Click on OK. Now I will go to task. Yes, this task has been completed, mark complete. Then you would see the task has been completed to prepare sourcing request. Yes, I am going to mark started or I click the timer button. Whichever you want you can do. That mark started. I'll go to the document. KD2 attributes are open and then you just create some test save. You are supposed to enter this line. Item details, and just as long as you change the status, the system understands that you have created. Sourcing request item. So I'm just for testing purpose only. I've completed that. So I will say mark the complete also approval for sourcing request. Click the timer button. Fix the. This has to be approved by today itself. I'm going to provide a message. Please approve. And I'm going to click on submit. Now remember when I go to the document, I don't see the sourcing project creation. When I come to the task, currently the task is under approval. When I go to the project status view, which is showing as needs approval process status. So even when I select these templates in the search window sourcing request, click on search. You can able to filter the what are all the sourcing requests under approval process. Status needs approval, click search. This way also you can configure. So you can recommend also. These are all the projects under approval. Go by project ID which we have created today, right? So I should be having that in the town. SR using own template. 4th April, this is under needs approval. That's why I can able to filter down. Once it is approved, then this will be removed from needs approval. So I'll go back to the project, click on open. I'll go to the task. I am getting this permission to approve because I am the member in the sourcing manager group VNK and VNK when they open this task. They will get this option other people. When they open this task, they will not able to approve it. So now I am going to click on approve. Click OK. Now you would see the status is approved when I go to the document. Sourcing project has come. Now a message also will go to the sourcing manager. Notification task will start it. So this will be a scheduled job. Ariba will run after certain time. And this notification will go to the sourcing manager. When I go to the overview, the status of the project also moves to approved. You can see here process status is approved. Now when I go back to the home page, when I sourcing request, when I am searching for under the process status, if I select needs approval when I click search, obviously my project has been removed. So you could see that, right? It is showing. I think it will take time to refresh it. So almost. Actually, it's not getting refreshed. Otherwise, this will be removed also. I think there is a gap, 6 minutes or something. After that, only the search will get updated. It's not very quick. Clear any questions? We have created the templates. We have created the project using our own template. We were able to complete. We have seen how to put visibility condition, how to put access limited only to the team members, and process status to identify the status of the project. We also created one task to do task asking the users to vary by the team members. Today we are going to look at the auctions in Ariba. There are 3 types of auctions that are available in Ariba. Let's look at them. So why do we conduct auction? Auction will conduct to get a competitive bidding. In other words, Ariba, competitive bidding means auction sold. What is competitive bidding? When the supplier is aware of what is the lead price and he will be tempted to participate or reduce his bid so that he want to grab the opportunity. That's an auction. So if you go to any of the car sales or house property sales, the bidding will start with the lowest price. So the auctioneer will tell, for example, 1 lakh rupees. Then whoever participating there, they will be putting above like 1,10,000, 1,20,000, etc. They will be quoting it. So another bidder will give the highest. So whoever bidding for the highest, they will be selected and the proposal or the sale will be given to the highest bidder. That's a normal auction. So this auction we generally call as a forward auction because the prices are increasing. This we generally use to sell something. So when we're talking about procurement, right, what we will sell? Our activity is to purchase only. So what? We sell any excess inventory. Inventory means you have purchased something that was not used that you want to dispose of, or assets. Maybe a machinery which you are using now has been upgraded. You want to sell your old machinery. In such scenarios, we will use the awkward forward action, but majority of the cases will be using the other type that's called reverse action. Reverse action means the same thing. When the buyer expected an item at a lower price, he is going to start at the higher price and the sellers will start giving the prices less than the price. Say 9% will give. One person will give 97k. So the competition will pick up. So when the person is entering 97k, the system will show him he is the lead one bidder. If somebody else tried to reduce the price something less than $97, then he will be showing as a lead bidder. So accordingly, the competition will be conducted among the suppliers and you will be able to get the best bid from the suppliers. So that's called reverse action. In Ariba, we have 3 types of reverse actions. One is English reverse auction. What is we just discussed about? The opposite scenario is called English reverse auction. The next type is Dutch auction and Japanese auction. So both are same. I mean, all are auction types only. What is the difference? The format in the bidding process is different in Dutch and Japanese auction. In Dutch auction, what will happen? The price will be determined by the buyer. Let's say our price is 1 lakh. Okay, see, I am going to start the bidding. Now I know that the last purchase price was 1 lakh. I may get around 90 to 1 lakh. That is an expected expectation from the event. So the price could go between 90 to 1 lakh. In this scenario, what I am going to do? I will be starting at the very lowest. The supplier will not be able to quote the 85 lakh. No 85k, 85,000. Then 86,000. I will be increasing this. First I will start with 85,000 and I will wait for 2-3 minutes. Then I will make my price of 86,000 and wait for 2-3 minutes. Like that. I keep on increasing my price of 1,000 every 2 minutes. Okay, now the suppliers are. All will be visible of this event. Let's say supplier A, supplier B, supplier C, supplier B. I'm saying 4 suppliers are already participating in the event. They will wait for their time when they will be able to supply a material with the lowest price. What they need to do? Example, let us go to 88,000. Supplier B, he will be ready to accept the price of 90k. Okay, as soon as the price comes to 90k, then this guy will accept the bid immediately. The event will terminate it. So here the scenario is highly competitive, so the supplier will. Quickly, let's suppose this way he is planning to give for 91k. He will lose the opportunity because he has to accept whatever the least possible amount. If not, somebody else has accepted. You are going to lose the opportunity. That format is called Dutch auction. Then there is one more format, that is Japanese auction, which is almost similar, but here the price will start from the upper to the lower. Like we are expecting the 90 to 1 lakh, right? I am going to start the bidding at 1 lakh. Then every 2 minutes, I am going to reduce. 1,000, 97,000, 96,000. Like that, I will keep on reducing. Here again, the suppliers. All these suppliers will be participating, but each round, this is round 1, round 2. Okay, each round the supplier has to click on accepting the price. As in the same scenario like we discussed in the above, supplier C will accept it. 9196. 9291,000. So supplier will see he will accept until here. He is keep on accepting until he can able to supply it $91,000. When the price goes to 9,000, he will not accept. So you just leave. You don't click on accepting the event. So as soon as he did not click it, then he will be removed from the event. Then remaining suppliers, supplier A, B, B will begin continuing it. Let's say in the supplier B, he can provide up to 90,000. Sorry, 90,000. Here supplier B will accept and next round he will not. He will not accept the price which is less than 90. Let's say now the round is 89,000. The event will continue till all the suppliers leave from the event. Whoever gets the lowest. And then the event will get entered earlier. When a supplier remains one supplier, the event will stop. For example, 88,000. Supplier D, he will not accept. So he will be removed from the event. Then who is the remaining supplier? Supplier A. So automatically from the next round, 87,000. Supplier A should be accepted here. There is a chance that, for example, supplier A is willing to supply at 85,000 because we have configured a rule saying that when the event reaches to 1, Supplier, please stop it. So we are stopping at 87,000. To avoid that, now we can make that. Event also 0. So that supplier will keep on entering the price like 86,000, then 85,000. After that, he will not accept. So he will be removed in last stage. We know that this buyer has accepted the price and we will be giving the awarding to the supplier. This format is called Japanese format. In the event rules, you are going to configure what is the starting price, what is the last price, how many number of suppliers you want to keep in the auction, and what interval. The price has to reduce and how much is the amount has to reduce. These are all you are going to configure as part of your event rules. Then the event will continue. Clear any questions? Only the difference for the suppliers is between Dutch auction and Japanese auction is in Dutch auction, only one time they will access, the event will come to close, whereas in Japanese auction, each round all the suppliers need to keep on accepting it. If they do not accept, the system thinks that they are not okay with the price and they will not be allowed to participate in the next round. So that is a bit of a challenge when you talk about Japanese auction. Then maybe you will be asking me, do we follow Japanese auction in India? Or this is only limited to Japanese region? No, this is only a format type of an action. This can be used by any supplier in any of the continent. There is no restriction. Now let's demo all these actions one by one. Let's move to a ribbon, Create Sourcing Project. Let's create reverse action. If no name has been added, then that's called reverse action. If it is forward action, you have to specifically mention that as a forward action. So I'm saying about the content template. Make sure that if it is a forward action, you mention it. If nothing is mentioned, that is understood as a reverse action in Ariba. So, as I mentioned, if nothing is mentioned, that's a diverse action order. Just selecting this, let's see the behavior. Diverse action, click on pre-bid. Super. Okay, now let's fill in the rules first. Allow pre-bids. Pre-bid means the system will give you the chance. And then you can sorry. When you're selecting pre-bid, all the suppliers will be able to participate. 10 days, you press, they can enter it. Then you will start the bidding. So what is the advantage? You know what is the value the suppliers are bidding. Then you will start a competitive bidding. But this will take us some time. So if you are aware of the product pricing, and then you don't need pre-bidding, do not allow pre-bidding. Bidding is going to start today at 8:15 a.m. So we might need to extend it at 8:02 or 8:30 because we have to fill in all the details. Let's say 8:30. Running time for the first lot item. So I'll keep it 60 minutes. Set a review period after the lot. Item not required. Bid rank that triggers overtime. That's also not required. Not required bid rank that triggers overtime 1. Start overtime if the bid submit within last 2 minutes. Overtime period 2 minutes. Anyway, enable traffic bidding. No here, nominal amount or percentage. If the supplier is entering 1 lakh, I want to reduce by 1000. Then the nominal amount I will be selecting it. If I select percentage 10 or 5, Whichever I am mentioning, that will be, the price will be reduced by that amount. So I will be selecting nominal amount. Allow type bids for all the rent that, okay. Require participant to raise. Allow selecting currency. Do not enable starting bid. Okay, so lead bids to all the participants. Show participant responses to other participants. I want to show it. Let's see what will happen. So participant responses to other participants. When the system will tell what is the other prices, are entering how the naming will be shown as no unique, as generic earlier. Supplier wants to apply to something like that. It will show. That's also fine. So I'll move to the next. Click on next. So here, active observers, wherever it is there, I'll just put it to RNA12. Surrogate bidder or an equal, click on next. The advantage here, even I was trying in the previous events also trying to add surrogate bidder, but in some cases, even if I am adding a surrogate bidder later, it's not allowing me to add this particular role called surrogate bidder. Using this particular role, you can act as a supplier instantly from the event. So that we are going to see right now surrogate bidders. Click next. I am going to invite participants from my other project. So I will say reverse option. I'm going to remove these filters. I will search for the projects with the name reverse option. Oh, sorry. So the name of the subclubs, not from the. If I want to look from the past event, then I can search by name of the project. So what is the title of the project? Reverse auction. Click on enter. So these are all the items which I have used. Let's see if anywhere I have Warren Netball owner, I will select as Warren Netball. So whatever the projects I have created in the past, I am searching now. So I am going to select 14th October 24th. Let's see what I want. So I have 3 suppliers used in the last event. I am selecting all the suppliers, or you can choose whatever the supplier you want. There is no problem. Click on next. So these 3 items are coming from the template which I don't need. So I am going to delete that. Now I am going to add a line item. So I will call that line item as a transaction. Say printer. Purchasing for the printer commodity something else. So let's say one item. I think this has a 1 lakh ceiling price. What is the maximum price the supplier can put is 1 lakh. The lowest can be, they can enter it. They cannot bid more than 1 lakh. Reserve price. If I was getting this price at 85, I am very much happy for that bid decrement. So bid decrement, once supplier entered a price, let's say he enters in 99,000. Next price he has to enter at least 500 is the difference. That is what I am mentioning here with decrement has to be 500. Provide lead bid buffer and the lead bid back buffer that I don't need it. What does it mean? Is suppose somebody enters a price of 500. Let's say 1 lakh, next time he is entering 99,000. So another person, if I keep it 500 here, that person cannot enter 99,000 or 98,900 because 100 difference you will not have it. He has to enter a difference of 500 hour that if you want to maintain, you can maintain. If I keep it 0, then it is not required. So basically bid decrement once the supplier enters a price. Next time, if we want to enter the price, it has to be less than 500 AIRA. All these 3 suppliers. Click on done. I just want to view as a participant. So reverse action, see reserve. Price is 85,000. Ceiling value 1 lakh, bid decrement is 500. The system is telling once a supplier enters the price, next time he has to reduce at least $500. That's fine. So I go to click next. As I mentioned 8:30, which I don't need it, I will adjust the timing. I'll come to here. I'll just put as 8:25. Click next, click next, click next, click next. Publish mostly in auction. You will not get the ability to reduce the timing or increase the timing. So currently another 5 minutes. It is in the preview. Or anyway, I was getting the option reduce. Timing is positive. Anyway, now I will go to the Supplier tab, select the supplier. Now I get the surrogate bidding here itself if I don't get surrogate bidding here. What I am doing, I go to the administration, select supplier and customer manager and find out the supplier user acting as that supplier. Instead, I can directly do from the event site if I get the surrogate bidder permission. So I will be clicking on surrogate bid. Let's go to preview. The status is preview. Click on the item. Preview prerequisites. So read all the content. Accept the terms. Click OK. Now what items you want to participate? Select the logs. Okay, so it is in preview period. So we need to wait until 4 minutes. I am going to stop. Now let's act as another supplier. We set open our event. Suppliers. Select the second supplier. Click on surrogate bid. Now I am preparing all the supply responses. Then I can quickly act on review prerequisite. Accept the terms. Click OK. Select the lot which we want to participate. Let's prepare as a third sub plan as well. Now you can see also the status of the supplier is intent to participate. Okay, so anytime supplier is saying that he has not received the email from the Ariba to participate in the event. You have communicated to him that, saying that Monday we will be having an auction, but Monday he is replying to you. Sorry, I have not received. It could be any reason because of the network failure or his email, or it has went to the jump box or something. It is many chances will be there. In such scenarios, you can click this supplier, whichever the supplier is affected. Click this recent invitation email venue. So when we do this activity, the system will try to send one more time the invitation. Still, if he is not receiving that mail, then go to the messages. You will see that message has been sent to all these people. So let's do for suppliers. This text supplier. I want to resend the invitation email. Once email has been sent, I should able to see that message in this particular Donald Smith. So for this supplier, I have sent it Donald Smith. I could see that copy of the message here. When I click this message, I should be able to see the content with the URL. So how to access to the URL also to be available. What I just need to do. You copy this message and send it to him via email or another email. So wherever he is receiving you can send it to him. So using that link, he will able to participate in the email. These are a troubleshooting option. Now I will go to the suppliers tab. Another 1 minute, right? Let it go. So I will act as surrogate bid for the first supplier. Give us action. So let's say we have 3 suppliers. One supplier will give 99, one months of the week, the 98, 97, like that. And we will see what is the option. How? These on the lead inside. Now you should able to participate in the event. System is saying 1 lakh. So he is giving a price of 99%. If you try to give, okay, I think I can give 1 lakh also. You can submit current log. As soon as he submits the price, then system will tell him whether he is a lead bidder or not. Okay, now system is saying lead bid. So when you click this one, the system is saying lead bid. Leading bid also 1 lakh. You know that you have bidded 100 lakh and you have 1 lakh also. Next time if I want to reduce this price, I have to reduce with 500. So let's say 99,900. I want to submit again, so I am reducing my bid. So submit current log. You cannot enter the price with 100. This is just to avoid people. Reducing 1 to 1 and done at least. I am expecting 500 to be reduced. Otherwise I don't want him to enter. It's called bid decrement value. Now let's move to the other supplier. Now this supply price is 1 lakh. Now another supplier is entering a price of 99. Then he will become the lead bill 3 cent reverse option. So now we are acting as a supplier, second supplier. Now it should be under open status. So he is giving price of 9,500 or 99,600. Submit current slot. Then his price is 99. Now you do also have, you can see here, Gen Industry, that is his company name. He has given this price. Other person is entered 1 lakh. That name also is showing to him. But it is showing as an alias name. Company, it is not some vendor or something like that. It will never reveal the name. So other suppliers should not be seeing Gen Industry when he opens. So suppose now let's go to the first supplier itself. This and open the option. Now we will be acting as the first supplier. Supplier, first supplier surrogate bid. What are all the options is available? You can see that. If you want to get the lead bidding, what is the price? If you want to take a lead, what is the price? Another person you can see. For him, his own company will be visible. For other people, the name will be shown as a company. 900. If I want to take a lead, then what was my last price? 100 Zolosen. So I can enter 9,500. Then click on take lead. System will tell if you enter 99,500, there is a chance that you will become the lead builder. So that options are available when you want to use in options which will not be available in RFPN. Now I will go to the, okay, let's say he's entering 99,500. Take lead and submit the current log. Okay, now let's move to the third supplier. Suppliers, third supplier. Okay, now the system is showing leading with this 99.85 is the reserve price ceiling value of 100 with increment, which are all. The supplier has entered the prices company for him. He has not quoted it. One company has. Quoted. Even it will not reveal whether this is the same guy has entered this price under also. He will not be able to know. Okay, now I am going to take a lead bid. What I have to take it I have to take a lead bid up. What is the current leading bid? 99,500. So if I enter, let's say take lead. Any vendor reduce 0.01 price. Also, if I am reducing, I can able to take the bid. This is only for the first time. Next time, if you want to reduce the bid, he has to enter at least 500 on the bid document value. Let us say now 99,500. He will be entering 99,450 the. Submit the current log. Clear any questions on this. English reverse action. Now let's move on to Dutch action to create. There is one issue. Let me find out Dutch action last time we conducted. Here I will say Dutch. So change the project type to source in project. Dutch action created during this year. Owner is already tough. Creation date this year. Find out the questions. These are all I have created for an actual. The junctions in full project. The junctions in full project. I just want to find out what was the template used, or I will copy this document. The junctions in full project. Basically, I want to see the theme. This is not recommended for me. I will not use this one. The theme should be having a surrogate bidding, which is not there. I will select some other one. The chart shown, demos paid for to open. Theme. Surrogate bidding. So this is created processes are themselves. Then I moon pong for the view. Let's try with our research. Create sourcing project that Jackson demo. No choice. Only in the template, only you will be selecting different auction types. It's not at the event level. I am selecting Dutch reverse action. Let's see. Not required bidding start time. Running time for the first lot is 60 minutes. Time between lot closing is 10 minutes. Bid adjustment interval. This is where you are going to adjust the timing. So I will say 1 minute. Every 1 minute the price is going to be adjusted. Set your review period. Not required time between lock. Closing of the game with adjustment by nominal amount. Required participant to give a reason for declining with not required. Not required. Let's move to the next one. OA enclave. We are so lucky today. We have surrogate bidder. Or enclave is also a member here. So then I can quickly continue the event also. In made participant. As I mentioned, you can use any option or I'll just put some call. Let's search for the suppliers with these values. Probably reason may not be there. Okay, so every escape, test, alarm or hash word. I'll click the parking. I have randomly selected 3 suppliers. Click next. Removing these items. Add line item, touch line item, commodity. Could be anything. Quantity 1. What is the price? So I will take the same example 1. Like is the price, initial value, the price which is to be initial. Let us say I am going to start from 85,000. Now bit adjustment is 1,000. Every 1 minute 1,000 will be increased. Here I always rate it in a reverse Dutch event. Bidding on a lot stop when the bid adjustment causes the amount to rise above to the term value. So it is going to be starts from 85,000 until 1 lakh. When it reaches to the 1 lakh, the event will stop. Suppose I want to achieve some saving, then I just put it as 99. When the event reaches to 99 and no supplier is accepting it, the event can then let act as one of the supplier. To view this, selling price is 99,000, bid adjustment 1 lakh. Current price is 85,000. Bid adjustment 1000 INR, it is going to be changed 85 to 86, 87, 87 like that. The timer will start as soon as I complete it. So it looks fine. There is also one thing you need to check. It is not there. Sometime here, the question will be there. Is it required? Then you have to select yes. Required. Respondent to answer is required means you have to click yes. If you don't do that, the system will not allow the suppliers to participate. So what time the event is going to start? So I'm going to start at 80:45. So maybe I will reduce the timing and go to the roots. Instead of 85, let's reduce by 8:38. So this is the preview. Monitor this event. Subclass, when you publish a controller, okay, surrogate win. So it is in preview. Demo review. Prerequisites acting as one of the suppliers. So in reverse auction, supplier is choosing the price. In Dutch and Japanese auction, the buyer is deciding the price. Then the supplier, if they are willing to accept, they have to accept it. Red Chaction line 85,000, keep 38. Meanwhile, we will act as a second supplier. Second supplier surrogate bid. Open Red Chaction demo, review the deposits. Select the logs. Okay. As soon as you click on submit and accept, event will be terminated. So you have to make sure that whether this price is acceptable for you or not, 85,000 price. So you have to wait until it quickly reaches and you have to click on submit acceptance. Okay, now you can see the price is increased to 86,000. Let go to the third supplier and he is going to accept it, and then we will see how it is behaving. Let go to the third supplier. suppliers, third supplier surrogate bid. Where is that event? Open event. So you can also read this one when the publish waiting start time respondent. Time, running time, all this information will be visible to the supplier. Then he accepts the prerequisites. It's telling the logs. So submit, accept him. He's 87,000. You would be seeing this event status will move to completed in a quicker. You can wait for the next term. So auto, or if you refresh also, we will make the system. Pending selection. The movement event has been moved to pending selection and the supplier bid history SK. Test has been compound with the 87,000 points. Now I'll go to the buyer side. Let's open the event. Suppliers for content. This is about Dutch action. Clear any questions? Let's conduct Japanese action in tomorrow's session. So we are able to conduct to in a quicker way. For every Dutch, Japanese and English, do we have forward and reverse action? Yeah, you can use forward action. For that we have to create a template with the forward action and select the auction type as Dutch auction or Japan. So forward auction also, for example, you are having a machinery which you are selling. You have to decide the prices when the buyer will be. In that scenario, your buyer, if he is accepting the price, automatically even will. Out of 100 events, not even 100, maybe 500, 600 units, you will only see one as a forward. Production, because your motive is not of a sales. It's only the procurement for buying only. But however, the functionality is available if you are selling something. Today we are going to look at guided sourcing. So what is guided sourcing and how we are going to create the project? How to enable guided sourcing. So this is a trending topic now, guided sourcing. Before that, any questions from previous session or anything? Alright, so guided sourcing is an additional, or I would say user interface, a new enhanced user interface on sourcing module. It's called guided sourcing. There is no change. On master data player interface, nothing has seen the way you navigate. The sourcing has been modified. Using a simplified interface that's called guided sourcing. Now before guided sourcing there was one more thing also famous, that's called guided buying. What is guided buying? So as we're discussing about the module called Ariba, buying and invoicing. On buying module they have introduced additional layer that's called guided buying. It's a simplified user interface where you don't see all those menus and reports and other things. Instead, you will only see limited information. So that is generally used only for casual buyers. Who are casual buyers? Those people, they access Ariba only when it is required, not a regular users. But then they have created guided buying because of guided buying was more famous, got famous, and it was easy. Based on the feedback, they started working similar. Designs on upstream, also one of the main implementation. They did it on guided sourcing. This is about the background. Now Ariba is saying, SAP is saying by end of 31st December 2025, they will make guided sourcing is the default. Default interface for all the users. When they are creating it, they will be navigated to create guided sourcing projects. Similarly, all the new innovations, whatever Ariba is planning an innovation, that's all will be on guided sourcing platform, the opposite of guided sourcing, or the other name for normal closing is classical sourcing or classic sourcing. Alright, now let's look at how to enable guided sourcing. It's a very simple interface, nothing complex or anything. So I'll go to Ariba screens. First thing, how do you enable guided sourcing? When I go to the manage, click on administration under the event manager. Event manager either here or here, both way same only. When you click event manager, enable guided sourcing, you will be seeing this option when you click this particular button, enable. Simple. So if you already enabled it, then the system will give you a message, guided sourcing is enabled. Once guided sourcing is enabled, what kind of changes you are going to see in Ariba, that's we are going to discuss now. As soon as you enable the guided sourcing, what system will do? Whatever the parameters needed for enabling guided sourcing, that will be enabled automatically by SAP, and you are going to see click on create. You are going to see guided sourcing project. Guided sourcing request. These two menu options will be added and all the events which you are having the templates, the default Ariba best practices. Templates are created with guided sourcing as well. When I go to the manage templates, under sourcing templates, we would be seeing guided sourcing templates as well by a reverse system. Suppose if you are having a RAF Prafi auction, reverse auction or Japanese action, all these options are replaced. Sorry, one more copy will be created with guided sourcing, so that template configuration and all will be taken care by once. You get the enable options. After that, you will also notice for your dashboard will come. So that is like how you are navigating between home sourcing and other thing. You would also see there is one more menu called for you. For you, alright, it loaded the template folder. Anyway, let's look at. When I go to the document, I should be seeing guided sourcing. So by start by Ariba would be seeing sourcing template under the service template. We are going to see all with guided sourcing. A copy will be added separately. Quick guided sourcing project Ariba system. Quick sourcing project guided sourcing. Click this button. Click on open. You would also see one difference here. What is that? Event type origin will be changed. Guided sourcing template becomes yes. This menu will be added in your edit properties. Then you should able to see this as yes. You will not be able to remove this. One, I believe. Let's just check. Suppose existing template if you want to migrate to guided sourcing. If you don't want to use this template, you want to completely use guided sourcing only. Open the template. After you enabled it, you will see one toggle button to make the template available for guided sourcing. By enabling that, then the system will. This template will be available for creation in guided sourcing project. I just want to check whether I can able to toggle off or not. Since it is created by Ariba being the first version, I don't think it will be reverting back to the classic system. I just want to test it. Okay, and furthermore, two more changes. That is quickly event 2 has been renamed as single event in guided sourcing environment. So that is the difference. Instead of calling that as a quick event, it's called single event. Maybe that is more relevant than calling it as a quick event. Okay? Then one more thing is you need to have guided buying role. Use it for category buyer. Category buyer. This role you need to provide to the users who wants to use Ariba guided sourcing. Role is required for creation of guided sourcing project. If you do not assign this role, that user will not be able to see that menu option. Menu create guided sourcing and guided request. That will not be available if you don't add them into the category by a Chrome. See, this is too much. Now 15800 is the rank, that means it is being pasted at the end, and now I will able to edit properties. Or it is allowing me, suppose if I want to mark this as a not a guided sourcing template, I can switch back to the classic sourcing by using. Let's click on cancel. I will also show you the guided sourcing category by a role, manage administration. When you are having speed integration, the user manager will be available under core administration. When I go to the core administration, when I click on user manager, then I should see the groups called category buyer. Okay, category buyer. So what it will do? It will allow creation of guided sourcing project. When I click this one, I would able to see who are all the users that's provided with this particular permission, 18 itself. They have this permission. Now let us create one project using guided sourcing. How can I? Okay. Before that, let us navigate to For You. This is the For You tab. When I go to For You, I should see all my events in a very beautiful interface. Now I can see this one somebody has created earlier. If you go to my document, you might not be able to understand what is the status, and here it will give you more detail. Approval ready for approval if you're an approver. Directly, you can able to approve. This is a quicker one. Whatever you added, all will be added here. And you will know their status also. This is called feed cards, all the events which you have created. You will also see auction published, auction created view, all related we want to look at. More information, you can check and the status is available, event ended, more information now. Compared to the previous one, review responses in touch, action demo 7th April. This is what we have created, I believe. Okay, now coming back here, you will also have main est template. Which way to go to the main est template you can access from here. You can search. All your sourcing requests are full projects in guided sourcing environment. When I click sourcing, requests are full project, for example, sourcing request. Now the navigation is taking you to the guided sourcing, I believe, after December 31st. We don't need to navigate to that, the system itself will show like this, and then we have to using it. Okay, here you can find out all your sourcing request. If you want to look for full projects, all your full projects in Ariba, and if you remove and click on single event, I think you have to click search. Okay, single event projects. Let's okay, all the single event. I believe this should be the single event projects. Yes, suppose if I want to look at any one other app. When I click this app, it's taking because it was created under normal project. Let's go to one project which is created in guided sourcing. Now, if you want to create one guided sourcing project, quick event project, let's create one. Create sourcing project by click plus button. When you go to click on create and sourcing project, now the user interface which you are seeing and the user interface now user seeing is modified same thing. Now I am creating a full project sourcing project. I will be giving a name for that guided sourcing project creation on J9 April 25. So description of the project, whether it is a test project or not. Public sector, which is some additional feature which was given. So public sector, they can able to conduct events on it without giving the supply details. Project name quick project has been renamed as a single event. Full project is like normal full project. I'll select single event as soon as a single event. If the system is giving me what is that I want to create, let's create one. RXP now. Okay, this is project. You can also use Excel option. So if you are having a line item details in an Excel, when you import that Excel file, Ariba is saying that it is very dynamic. So it is going to, even if it is having a complex thing or something, the file will be readable by Ariba when the same file you are uploading again and again. Then you will get more and more options like the system will understand very clearly and future. The system is going to create the line items without doing much modifications. That is using Smart App. If you don't want to see this window, if you want to minimize it, you can do that. Now I have entered these details. Now I am going to reduce this event. Linked project. So what is your predecessor project? If you are having, you can enter. Origin now will become guided sourcing because we are creating in the guided sourcing environment. Let's select region. Same thing, I'll go with IND department production baseline spend. Let's click 1000 USD if you want to change. Select and select currency. Not able to change. Yeah, here currency is here. You can type in US dollars. Then it should change to 1000 yen. Targeted saving 2%. I want to save same owner. Commodity, any commodity, anticipated contract effect return. So that's, I don't need to give it. Now you have to go to lot of templates earlier. Now that touch option is available now. Suppose if I'm looking for a template, let's say Sanjay. I did not created any guided sourcing template. That's why I don't have template available. However, let's use one of the template which they have created. I have template guided sourcing. Like push purpose proposal guided sourcing template, it looks a little better. So I will select this one. Once I selected my template, if we have external integration, you can do that. Now I have filled in all the details. Now I am going to click on create. Now the project will be created. So the first step, what you create header fields has been completed. Now once the project is created, the ADBus says this is the feature, all in single page only. Earlier, you have to navigate. If you are in a view mode, you have to go to the tab, different tabs. On the left hand side, you will be having so much things. Now that has been replaced in a single user page integration. Now let's see what this also shows the progress of your event. First, you have to create. Second, you have to publish. Third, you have to monitor. Fourth, you have to review the response. Fifth is award. This was not there earlier. So earlier what you do? You will publish the event. Then you will go back to the home page, monitor that event. After monitoring, you will go to the reducing the time or increasing the timing. Once the timing is over, then it will go to pending selection. Once pending selection is good, then you will go to the award. Now you will able to know the status of your project at the header level. That's a one way of easy navigation. So come down task whatever, approval for event published. So when the template I have selected has been approval, that has to be by project owner. Anyway, once I publish my event, this approval also I can able to take it. If I am the owner, then I should get the option here to approve also. That's fine event duration. Here you are going to configure your timing. Start bidding right after the event is published. How much time? 30 minutes estimated about time not required. Click on save so that event rules has been configured. Now supplier, if you want to add any supplier, click on invite suppliers, then search by your suppliers. This is the previous data, refinery data. I'm going to remove this. Just put the supplier name, paste or something and search for the supplier I'm selecting. Randomly 3 suppliers. Invite now. Your suppliers will be added. Where is this? So I am going to reduce the event duration. These 3 suppliers have been added items that need for earlier. You will be seeing 1, 2, 3, 4. You will be adding line item as maybe first if you have a question, everything remains in one area. Now this has been classified into 2 sections. One is line item and second is questions and attachment in the line item. If I want to add one line item, click on plus item. What is the item? MacBook. I can provide details about the MacBook commodity region price. Ceiling price is 1000, historic prices. I was purchasing a less of 1500. If somebody is giving 800, I am very good, I will be looking for 2 quantities. Is the response is required? Yes, click on add. I'm adding a line item. Now, if you want to copy this line item, select this item, click on copy. Very easy now. Where you want this to be pasted after? After click on paste. Now your line item is quickly pasted down. This is same thing in the classic also. But now options are very easy. So if I want to delete this one. Select the delete option. Earlier, these options are under the bottom now. It was kept at the header. So easy to understand questions. If you want to add any question or something I can ask, for example, I want to ask him whether he is ISO certified. Do you have ISO certification? What is the answer? I am expecting short answer or yes or no. Yes or no. I will be expecting initial value by default. I expect initial value as yes. If they don't have, he is going to change. Yes, participation response is required. When you look at all options, maybe I will also check whether you need to have attachment. It's is. Can participants see this question? Yes. Can add additional comments on attachment? I'll say yes, then click on add. Now I have added one line item, one question to the my event. Do you have ISO certification? And this one now. Now let's go to. I just want to check one more thing. There is one option earlier. You view as a supplier whether that is available or not and where it is available. So let me go. Full screen. But okay, anytime you are creating, you get confused and you want to switch back to the classic environment, You can use this option and go to View option. Switch to Classic View. It will take you back to the normal view. Then you can perform your action. There is no restriction on Alibaba side. I'm not sure whether this day will continue after December 31st. We are not sure about. And even the December 31st is not going to be taking place because it's not easy. So still almost 60 to 70% of all the users are using classical sourcing. Only they are not ready to migrate to the guided sourcing. That's the secondary. Now the team members. He will be finding the team members here, that surrogate bidder and other things, right? You will be able to see it. So I will say close. Okay, I will select surrogate bidder. So currently surrogate bidders are assigned to only one person. I want to add myself into this. So I will click on edit team members. Since we all use familiar with the classic source. This may look little difficult in navigation, but going forward, once you use it, you will be also feel free to you will feel convenience of creating in a guided source. Let's close this. I'm going to publish required and approval. Once I publish, event allows, applies to select bidding, currently select an exchange rate. Now I don't want to select the currency. Then what I have to do, I have to go to the edit all the option event donation. Here it will be event option, download option, view event setting, set event rules. Here and participants submit type bids, enable multi-round bidding, allow participants to submit bids by email, allow submits to select the different currency. I am going to remove that option, click on save. Okay. Now let's publish. Publish to guidance was in the event. Monitor the event or go to dashboard. Whichever you want to do that. I'll click on monitor now. The face should be moved from create publish monitor. I think approval has automatically done. I think approved automatic, since I am the one was published. Now currently in monitor stage. I can able to monitor the event here. How many participants? 3 suppliers. When is the event going to start? When the event is going to find. I can see here total item cover is how many. Supplier says bid date, etc. I can able to see that when you double click it will take you to the MacBook item suppliers, whether this is a place if you want to send an invitation main name message, all you can able to send from here. Let's try to provide one response to this. So I will go to the suppliers tab. Where is the suppliers? Here 3 suppliers, more info. Click on message, recent message called contact him. DSEP run. DSEP learn demo supplier. I will go to home page, manage administration, supplier and customer manager users name. Of the user SAP. This is the supplier I have invited. And the open CSS open projects, review the requisites, click on OK. Collect logs. So supplier said, there is no difference. We have an ISO certification. By default it is yes. He will enter the category twice. Let's say he entering 1500. Update totals. You can submit response. You enter. The value extended price must be equal to lower than the ceiling value $2000 to 580. Okay, stop acting as a supplier. Now either I will open from for you or I will go to recent and open. What will happen? I want to see. Now under for you, I should be seeing my event here. Approval for. What is the project I have created? Created direct sourcing project creation. Click this. Okay, now you can see one participated, two participated, and where you can see that takes right of quotes. You can see the responses messages are now available here. Pollutations item that required DG supplier. So he has given a price of 100 times for 2 quantities. Test to Ariba and this person is able to provide my responses. If I want to reduce my timing, what do I do? Action, event, option stop, reduce, accept, availability. Let's do one thing. I'll go to the home page. I will open the recent project. Where it is opening, I want to find out guided sourcing project creation. When I open, it opens in a guided sourcing environment. That's correct. If you want to look at the classical view, by going to this option, View Options View, switch to Classic View. So you will also see the same thing. Whatever we have created in a guided sourcing environment, that can be verified again. Alright, so something else on the guided sourcing which I want. Sorry, on the sourcing is, you have seen that messages are going to the suppliers from an event when an event was created, when the event was sent, when the event time is reduced, where that messages are available. Do I have an option to modify that message? Yes, you can able to do that by going to Manage Administration on the left side, Event Manager. Messaging templates. When you click messaging template, event related messages will be available. Here for all applicable type, when the bid is rejected, when the bid is deleted, when event is cancelled, event opened, what is the message is going, event ended, remainder event, paused, reopened, resumed. All these, they are all different notifications, Ariba standard. Notification which is being sent to the suppliers. Now I want to make one changes. What is that? For example, envelope, even pass, even reopen, even intending event, even closing time is extended or reduced. When I select this one, when I click edit, so this is the message. So all applicable type. Even the event title will get updated by Ariba. That's called token has been extended or reduced. By time, it will say if it is extended, it will say extended. If you say reduce, reduce and how much time it has been reduced. Ariba event has been reduced the start time and the new end time to view the changes. Please click the site URL. This is the standard thing which is going to be. If you want to make any changes here, probably you want to include your name or you want to change something after the about the event, please contact. Sponsored by your name or via email address. Maybe I'll just put it as a thank. Awesome. When I add this one, automatically all the new events which are created when there is a rejection of the timing, this message will go along with this particular test which I have added. Or whatever the changes I'm making here, it will go. But remember, this is a Ariba is not versioning these changes. Suppose if you overwrite this information, you will not be able to take the older data. So be careful, take this as a backup copy and keep that as a safe record. And once you make your changes and when you click on save, that will be effective for all the new messages. Suppose if you want to use certain additional field values, click on this add email template token. Here you will be getting this options, email options. What are all those? You can send clickable accessible link. What is that? When you then the user is clicking that link, it will take you to the Ariba access. Decline to participant in email in the event message itself. If you want to decline it, you can use this one event creation date. So when I select this one more about the project detail and then I will include a text called event creation date. When I select this one, automatically the creation date will be added. You can use any of these email messages or project related header fields, department name, company name, whatever you are seeing here. That also you can send it to the part of the message to the suppliers or participants. I don't want to make the changes. I'm going to click on cancel. So this is the place where you are going to modify message template once. If you remember, I have also shown you when we were wording, editing a message before sent to the supplier. The default message is coming from here when you go to message. Templates, all applicable type award, awarding announcement to the participants who has been awarded. This is the standard message which is coming if you need specific or a particular event. You want to make some changes before you submit for an award. There is an option to email template. You can make changes once you click award only for that particular event. The message will go. If you want to overwrite for all the future events, you want to make some standard message, then you can update here. Hence, for this template will be followed for whenever you are awarding the business. Similarly, will we have one more template for non-awarding awarding. And you will be having non-awarding. Two messages will go. Non-awarding means the people participated in your event, but he has not been awarded. That person will be receiving an email from the arrival. That is where you are getting from. Clear any questions? I want to start contact management. I don't want to club with the sourcing. Sanjay, is there any defined cases for this guided sourcing? Like for this case, we need to use guided sourcing, or for other cases, we need to use the normal sourcing. No, there is no this thing. But Ariba SAP is saying that after 1st January 2026, everyone has to start using guided sourcing. At the moment, it is optional or a choice, whether you want to create that or not. Now it is the client's decision. Suppose he wants his staff to start using guided sourcing, or he will let them allow. He don't want to give the trouble now when the call is taken by SAP that time. It's not that complex. It's a very navigation only. Maybe first 1 or 2 days, the user will get the feeling. After that, they will be able to create. Whatever you're creating in a classical sourcing, the same thing, only you're going to do it in guided sourcing. But the locations are different. Maybe you will find earlier on a tab. Now it will be available somewhere in a column or row or text. Column or row or any menu options, or somewhere it will be available. That is the navigation, only the challenge. There is no impact on master data, so there is no worry to handle anything. Even one. Some of the people are saying, how can SAP decide which one we want to use? So that maybe get extended as per I know. So for that reason, SAP is saying that all the new innovations, maybe more and more features will going to come. That time, yes, the client will say, okay, you use only guided source. For the time being, it is purely optional. Sanjay, while creating the template, do we need to remember all those rules? No rules are by default. It is already mentioned. Right? Only if you want to override, only you're going to change it. Yeah, so if we thought from interview point of view, do we need? 2. They don't ask you what is the rule, whether it is yes or no, and that level, no one will ask. Okay, they might ask you putting a question like this, I don't want my users to see envelope bidding. Do you have, or how do you do that? So then, what is your answer? Yeah, we have that option, yes or no. Yeah, then you have to explain like, yes, in the template there is envelope bidding rule will be there. We have to non-delegate. We have to hide that information. By marking that as a no, then the users will not be seeing that option. The same question, I will say, currently we are not using envelope bidding, but I want all my users to start using envelope bidding. How do I do that? Then you will be saying, I'll go to that. I'm just giving an example. So that kind of a rule they might ask. I'll go to the template. I'll enable that envelope bidding rule. And I will delegate that option so the user can decide that he want to continue or whether he for the event where he wants to use envelope bidding. He will select yes. Where the events which he don't need, he will select no. But I have not seen any interview asking for sourcing event rules. They might ask you to explain the flow. How? What is the sourcing flow they will expect? Then you should be able to tell first you have to create rules, publish it one, then supplier provides the response. After the response, you evaluate the responses. Once the event is over, it will move to the pending selection we will award based on the best selection by the buyer. That process flow you have, you should be able to explain it. And I'm trying to ease your questions, but going forward, you have to practice it. So once you started practicing some events and all, then you will remember whatever the rules, why the behavior is happening like that. So you should be in a position to answer your entry. Yeah, yes. And Sanjay, how this currency exchange works in Ariba actually in the current market? We have discussed. Right in the event, there is an option to allow different currency for the event. Suppose if you don't want your base currency, if you allow them to add their own currency, there is a rule. When you enabled it, I saw that like let's say the dollar value is today is 84 rupees. Okay. Then only when you select a different currency, the table will give you the currency. What is that? So there you need to update your exchange rate. So some companies in real business, what they do is they will fix per month. That means for April month, they will have one fixed rates. So that will be fixed for that total event, total month, whatever you are going to create. Event, they will follow that exchange rate only unless there is a huge difference. Say, let's say dollar is 70, now 82 or something like that. If it is dropped to 70 or it has reached to 90, then they will update it. Otherwise, only $1 or $2 over a period of month will be moving forward. So they will fix one rate and that rate will be informal to the buyer. So the buyer has to follow that rate for whenever they are creating any part or PO. This is one thing. And second thing, some companies on the day of payment the bank will calculate the exchange rate and that will be detected whether you are paying in a US dollars or you are paying in INR. That is what it is matter. When you are creating a PO, you are going to define the currency, whether it is US dollar currency or INR currency. If you are paying INR on that day, whatever the exchange rate you will gain or you will lose. It's same way with if you are paying in US dollars. You agree, you pay in US dollars. At the time of payment, whatever on that day bank charges, that will be your value only. So then that synchronization is done automatically in Ariba from the currency table, or yes, we can do that. That one is fixing manually. No, you can do that integration so the exchange rates can come from background. But in your event, it will tell you the table. What is the currency rate you want to consider it? If you want to override a change, you can do that. So when even the supplier is participating, they know, okay, you're calculating at this currency rate. So they will give their rate. But literally speaking, suppose if you are creating, we generally don't calculate the exchange rate set by anybody. For example, I am giving my US dollar currency at the time of when I am receiving the payment. That is what it matters. Here it is, just a tentatively I can able to calculate what is the cost. I am going to give my quotation. But let's say during the quotation the dollar rate is 78. Okay, I have given. After 3 months, the supplier has sent me the PO. I will deliver the item. That time exchange rate is 82. There is a huge difference. $5 he is going to gain. That is, no one will be able to control it. So only during evaluation time, you're just using that as a tentative purpose only. The dollar currency, which is declared on PO, is what it matters. Very rare scenario. You agree to the supplier saying that, as of today, I am fixing this exchange rate. This is only I will be paying it. If you are doing that particular transaction, that none of the business will accept it. Then if the time of PO also, you will calculate what you agreed during that time. But that amount only will be basically INR value, so I don't care about. US dollar currency, I am going to pay per item 1000 rupees. So if it is a bit of dollar value at the time of invoice payment, he will just make 1000 INR payment. So in such scenarios, the supplier is the decision maker. Whether he agrees that or he does not agree to it, then he will not participate. In the event, suppose he is not willing because he does not want to take that risk. So this is international trade business. You will be having these challenges. Not only this, suppose you are supplying one material, all your costs are depending on the rates of import rates or the export rate. Suddenly, government has shifted the prices. That's what. Now the war is happening between US. Trump is deciding the rates. Suppose you are exporting, let's say, automobile accessories. Government is charging 200% export tax. So you are selling 100 rupees here in your China. Sorry. In US it will be sold as 300. Till for them that is very cheap when they convert into $2. A 3 that is very cheap only. But what Trump is saying 200% is abnormal. You reduce that. So he is expecting that we will be selling it 200 rupees. So that is benefit for America. But we are going to last that way. So far we are ending the 200 margin, our profit revenue will get reduced. Then we will decide whether we want to export to US or not. That has to be decision taken by the manufacturer. Clear? Yes, Sanjay? Have you worked as a buyer any time by any chance? Do you have any experience? Yes, actually. Okay. So when you are creating the PO, you will decide, you will be careful with the currency. Currency rates correct. You want to make the payment. Most of that's the reason everyone will deal in US dollars. When you are dealing with foreign transaction, irrespective of exchange rates, we are going to pay US dollars and we are going to receive the money in US dollars. And estimos dois, termitas pesos. So when we do the contract management, we either do immediately after and sourcing process. So for example, you have identified a vendor and you have given him the business. We expect him to follow a contract to be delivered or agree on the terms. Or you can independently create a contract workspace in Ariba. Before that, I have some slides. So let's go through the slides. Then we will discuss on now. So what is the contract life cycle in Ariba terminology? It all starts with contract request. So this will be initiate the contact process by creating and sending a request to the contact manager to create a contact workspace. These people may not be having a permission to create a contact workspace. Very similar to sourcing request where the user do not have a sufficient permission, will be given a request role. So they can request the contact manager to proceed with creation of a contact workspace. And second, prepare an author. So based on the request or independent of this thing, in this step, a contract manager create a contract workspace in SAP Ariba and being drafting or authoring the main agreement. Another contract document in preparation for review on negotiation. During this phase, you are going to prepare a document which is having the terms and conditions or whatever they agreed between the buyer and the seller, and also it can also include the line item details that will be sent for review. So why do we do the review? If you are a junior resource, then this can be reviewed by your team or your senior manager. If your company is having a legal department, they might be reviewing your argument before you send it to the supplier. Negotiation. Negotiation means it is not against sourcing negotiation. Negotiation on the terms, for example, may be the payment terms that you want to further negotiate, or you want to accept certain rules and regulation which your company is having. All those things are part of your negotiation. That would be the second phase. Once it is done, review and negotiate. So in this step, contract documents go through in an internal review process and then send out to a supplier for further readiness and negotiation. Okay, so what is this? In this particular step, you are going to take internal approval. If you are having anything, for example, any agreement which you are agreeing more than 1 million probably, it has to go to the legal department review or finance department approval, and then you can namely send it to the signature for suppliers. In that scenario, you are going to review the document which you are having and send it to the supplier in the review and negotiation phase and approval and finalize. This is your final stage. In this stage, contracts go to the final approvals and signatures are obtained. The workspace is then published and the contract is executed. So we have done all the activities. We have prepared the document, internally reviewed sufficient. Approvals have been procured and we send it to the signature by the supplier. When we send the signature, both the parties will sign and we execute the content. How do we execute? Once you publish a contract workspace, then contract is executed automatically. This will complete one cycle of a contract management. After that, if there is a review, if there is an extension or if there is a closure, if there is a change, all those things you are doing part of amendment and management. Amendment means you are amending an existing content, and doing it maybe I could say that after you create a contract, how much is the amount left, so that on all you are going to monitor that is using amend and management. This is literally a contract management life cycle which you can expect. In Ariba, there are certain terms, so the definition of that has been given, you can easy to use. So the contract workspaces are very easy. It enables or integrates Microsoft Word document for preparing and approving of your template. The main agreement, whatever you have prepared, can be prepared in Microsoft Word, and the same document can be editable in Ariba itself. We don't need to download into laptop or computer and then they are bringing it back. That's not necessary. So with the enhanced contract authoring, Ariba supports editing Microsoft document internally. Act as a central depository. Certain times, maybe your purpose of contract is only just to keep as a record only. Maybe you do not follow any purchase orders or contact. Probably you are having one lease agreement which gives your authority for 25 years of utilizing the land. So where you built your own factory or something, then you are going on. So if you want to know when it is executed, where it is executed, you can store all your contracts in a centralized location where you can able to search by the name, search by the department, search by the description. Easy to recover a document in your storage space. Allows for control process. You can also define templates, visibility of a template. So create custom templates to standardize the contact. Creation process. Suppose you are having a process in your organization that we can replicate into contract so that it has to be following that particular process. For example, when you are having a contract of, as I mentioned, more than 1 million, it has to go to the review of a legal department or finance department. You can create a condition if the contract amount is greater than. That automatically, those two tasks will be added into your contract until you complete these two steps. You will not able to publish the contract. That's control process is possible built in. Reviews and approvals of the contract documents. So generally, approval means what? When you are sending a purchase order, your approver will approve the purchase order value and purchase order will be released in contract also. Whatever you have prepared, that can be sent for an approval. Say, this is what I am going to negotiate. Can you please provide your approval to go ahead or not? Then that approver will review all your documents. If he is okay, he will approve it. If he is not okay, he will deny it with his remarks. So it allows control process without when a task is coming from a template. It's not possible to publish contract workspace without completing it. So that allows control process, provides complete visibility. So many alerts are there. You can have contract workspaces with when the contract is expiry. So you will be receiving a notification. When the contract is in notice period, you will be receiving a notice period alerts. And in the Ariba dashboard you can go, there will be a contract tile. In that it will tell how many contracts are going to expire and already expired. Also, you can be able to use it. By viewing this, it will allow us to take a proper decision in advance. Suppose you created a contract and you forget the end date. So this was ended on the next month. Somebody wants a material when they're looking for the contract. It is not available. Then they come to you. You understand that you have missed that item. The contract has been delayed. Then you inform the supplier saying, then please send the contract. I will deliver you the material. When you're creating a contract, you are the signing authority of the contract. It went on a leave. This is delayed. So you are not in a position to control this situation. Suppose if you have received proper alerts until the expiry, then this would make your life simple. So Ariba contract management will allow timely reminders and also monitoring. Even if without checking the email center, you can go to Ariba, have a dashboard and have the visibility which will allow us for complete visibility of your contract status on time renewals. Alibaba also provides automatic renewals of the contract. If you enable that as part of your contract, then if you do not take any action, contract is automatically renewed. That we are going to see. Efficient collaboration, so the contract can be integrated with sourcing module, which can be integrated with the external S4 or ERP. If you want to use contracts in downstream, the contract will create a catalog subscription and the item can be purchased with something similar to a non-contract catalog item. So that provides efficient collaboration end-to-end commerce as well. So you can able to connect with your ERP system, etc. So the next slide. So what are all the documents type we are having in content workspaces? 3 types of content workspaces. One is procurement contract, where we are going to negotiate with supplier, sales content workspaces. It's basically to deal with your customer or the buyer. Internal, like HR department, is having an agreement with employees. So we can use 3 different type of content workspaces. Our focus is on SAP Ariba contract workspace procurement only. We are not worried about the other 2 areas of sales and in general. So why do we call the name as a contract workspace? A contract workspace is organized by documents. All the related contract documents can be visibility in one particular tab, the task in order to execute the contract. How many tasks are pending that I can able to visit from the task and the team who are all having access to this contract. Since you are having these many options consolidated into a one particular project, the contract workspace is defined. It is a place to store everything you need to create a contract. It includes a contract document called main increment on contract addendum, as I mentioned. So if you want to edit a Word document inside Ariba, that document you have to upload as a main agreement or contract addenda. Only one document can be added as a main agreement. If you want to use the similar functionality, remaining documents can be loaded in your document using contract addenda. If you do not do this main agreement or contract addenda, then you will not able to edit the Microsoft Word document in Ariba. That is as simple. The content was supposed to list all the tasks that must be performed to create and approve the contract. This was we just discussed. Also the team members who can participate in your contract execution. So this is very similar to your sourcing teams, where assigning some user to the group will allow him to visible that particular sourcing event. The same applies to the contract also. So we will be having templates to create our contract lifecycle. You can have multiple templates created based on the requirement. availability, you can also decide whether the contract can be available based on the header field selection. Suppose if you select region level contract, only when the user selects that region the template will be available. If not, the template will not be available. Okay, so however, what are the ways you create a contract workspace? Create directly in Ariba interface or copy from an existing contract. Create within a project as a contract request. For example, in the contract request, you are going to create as if inside one project and the contract workspace, something sourcing. Request a subproject is sourcing project. Contract request. Subproject is contract workspace. This is directly doing on SAP Ariba contract. Suppose if you are doing from sourcing after awarding, you will get an option to create a contract workspace from there. You are going to do that also inside a sourcing full project. You can also create contract workspace, but generally that is not used very often. There is some terminology which is specifically for contract management. One is hierarchical type. So you can able to create contracts as master contract. Sub-agreements, standalone agreements. So master contract means you are defining the contract. You are defining a contract as a master agreement, then you are expecting that sub-agreements will be created again in that particular contract. If you are creating a sub-agreement, obviously, the system will ask you what is your master agreement. You need to select the master agreement. Then you have to create. If you don't want to follow this master and sub-agreement, then there is a standalone agreement which is an independent of creating a contract. Then there are 3 days which are all critical for the business agreement date, which when you agreed with the supplier, that is your agreement date. This is an optional bill which is not mandatory. Effective date is a contract. Content. So from which date the contract is becoming effective is effective. It should be the current date or the past date or the future date. If it is a future date in a DBA, your contract will be published when it reaches the future date. For example, today, 10th April, my contract is going to start from 1st May. I have all the documents ready, signatures ready, everything is ready when I publish my contract. The contract will be in the status of publishing until it reaches 1st May. On 1st May, your contract will get published. That's called effective date. So effective date is critical. Sometime your suppliers, your end user, they will create a contract with dates different, thinking that on 1st April. They will just create as a 1st May and they will submit it. Then they will say that, hi, why my contract is not being published. Then you verify that if the date is in the future date, then the contract will be activated only on a future date. Expiration date. So there are 3 different types of contracts which we are going to look at. So based on that, expiration date is mandatory. Suppose if it is a fixed term, so 1 year agreement, then from the effective date 1 year will be your expiration date. There might be contract where we have not defined any end date as of now. So like we are billing with electricity or billing payment to the rental, all those things do not have any end date. So in such scenarios, you will be the contract is called evergreen contract without having any expiration date. There is one more thing, auto renewal of the contract. In this scenario, you will have one fixed expiry date plus if no changes have been made. The system will auto renew that contract for another 1 year. So that is called auto renew contract. We are going to look at all these details. No worry. We just discussed about the hierarchical type. So notice period. So like we are as an employee, we are having a notice period in our organization. Even a contract is having a notice period. So during the notice period, both suppliers and the buyers has certain commitment that they need to follow. So similarly in the contract, if you are having a notice period mentioned, then automatically you can trigger email reminders during notice period as well. So the templates will be dispersed. The components of a contract workspace overview that is very similar to your sourcing full project. You will be having all the details about the header field. Apart from overview, you will have contract attributes which we'll talk about, which is supplier you are creating the contract, what is the contract value. These are all out of the big custom fields. Then contract term attributes. So the term means whether it is a fixed term, auto-renew contract or evergreen contract. In this scenario, you will be having the dates of starting date and end date. These three are part of the first page, overview page. Task, whatever the to-do action item, suppose. If you are in approval, you will be having a task for approval, or you have submitted for a task, then you will able to see their status, whether it is and in progress, it is complete, it is approved. When you click on view, or you should able to see all your tasks available under my document, whatever the terms you are creating contract, workspaces or contract requests which you are creating. You will able to see this under my document when you click on view all contract request, contract workspace procurement project. This is what I was mentioning, expiry contract. When I select this one, edit the content, I can able to decide contract workspaces expired in the past number 30 days, which is going to be expired in the upcoming 60 days. I can follow upon whatever pending for expiry or sorry, already expired ones. When I go to OK, I can change the date as per my wish, whether if I want to do for 90 days or 120 days as my wish. Now I can see. So these are all the contracts are coming for expiration. I can start by the expiration date. So then these are all already expired on 20th. It is going to be expired then. As a contract manager, I'm going to ask my contract agents to look at these contracts and decide whether that needs to be renewed, or they will be closed, or we do not need to take any action. So that will give you control over the second. So this is the dashboard watched project. So whatever the project which you have watched, that will be available here. Sorry, my bad. So watch it. Project means if you are interested in any of the project which is having an important stage, then when you go to that particular contract workspace, add to the watch it project. Then you will able to monitor those projects very keenly. So where your more focus will be there on this particular project, you can have a visibility. So you will be having create contract workspace procurement or contract request procurement. These two documents only we will use for our contract workspace. Let's search for the contract workspace and what are all the options available. If you look at all the contract workspaces created using these refinery fields, you can able to search the contracts executed in your Ariba contract workspace management. You can search by the name, so you don't need to remember the document number. So all the contracts created by Sanjay, I can able to see that if there is a master agreement or hierarchy agreement, I can able to search like this standalone agreements. I'll go by contract, ID, contract status, effective date, all those things I can able to look at. So I can remove this filter and all the contacts will be displayed to me by now. You are aware if the results are more than 100, the system will show only the top 100 results only. However, when you go to the options, ignore the max results limit and then you click the search bar again, all the contact workspaces will be displayed. There will be around thousands of contacts will be there if you want to look at the projects. This is the way, suppose if you want to look at all the contract workspace is template. Same under the options, there are 1769 contracts. Are there or where I have visibility condition options. If you select templates, then you will able to see all the contract workspace templates as well, and there are 573 templates. This is too much. But generally in your client environment, you will be having less than 10 contract workspace. Template or even for 3 also possible. Maximum 6 or 7 templates only will see in a real production environment if the client is happy with the only one contract workspace template. That is also possible. Let us go to home page again. Let us open any one of the content workspace. So when you go to the home page, when you go to my documents, here all the documents is available irrespective of the module. So with the symbols, you will able to understand what kind of a document it is. This is the auction event. This is contract workspace where the signature is there. This is contract workspace. This is sourcing project. This is some registration, supply registration, all those things you can able to verify when you click view all. You can further drill down by whatever the items you are looking for. Let open one of the contract workspace demo. Sanjay contract workspace published. I am opening that. Alright. Okay, this is your overview of the contract. Contract attributes will give you what is the supplier, what is the contract amount, what type of an agreement it is that you can find from contract attribute. Contract term attributes will give you what type of a contract, its type of whatever that effective date, expiration date, any email notification. Are there any notice period? This all you will find under Overview tab. When I go to the document, I'll be having relevant documents. Maybe under contract agreement, I will be having one document. Signature, I will be having something. Apart from that, a document will be available. When you go to the task, you can see the incomplete task is 0. And the status of this contract is already published. And all the phases are also completed. When you expand the phase, you should be able to see the task available under. If you want to look at what are all the required tasks and optional tasks. Optional tasks means this does not require to be completed. Optionally, if you want to use, you can use it. So that is called optional tasks. If you click on required, all the required tasks will be shown. If you look at both, you will click on required and optional. If you want to collapse this one, use this option. Table options menu. Click on collapse all. If you want to expand all, use this option. If you want to copy these items into an Excel file, use this option export all rows or export current page. You can also search by the owner of this particular document, project owner or Aura network. Further, you can search also team member who are all having access to the team or the team finance team, legal team notification. All these members, so where you might be using this one of the team in the tasks to be notified. For example, notification for this vendor. When I am sorry, notification task will tell me the notifications are going to send to recipients. Call notification when I click notification group. So this is the notification group. So here there are no members are available. When you go to the team here, notification group, if I have added any member, that member will be receiving the notification message board. you can communicate within the team. Here also, the message bit will also help you to send it to you via post, via email when you do. This one, the system will open in an Outlook document and you can send it to non-Ariba users as well. You can even include attachment etc. when they reply to that Outlook message. All those details will be visible here, even though they don't have access to the contact workspace. But you can negotiate or you can have a discussion with that particular team using this message. Code study will give you when the task has been created as soon as project is created automatically. Ariba will create a lot of documents. If you go to the here, you can see this. So on 4th task was created. This task is completed. Task was completed. All these things can be visible here. Clear any questions? Okay, so if you want to create. Contract workspace procurement. This is the way creating a contract workspace from dashboard. When I click this same thing, very similar to your sourcing project, you need to fill in the header, values and select the template and click on create to create the project. But now I want to show you creation of a contract workspace from sourcing project. How do I do that? I'll go to the sourcing. Tap at what stage. You can only create contract workspaces only when it is completed, only it is not possible to create contract workspace from pending selection. For example, I will select pending selection. I have received the quotations, responses from the suppliers in RFP. So I am opening one of the RFP. Let's say, how did the RFP monitor it currently? This was not awarded. Awarded means what the response is not provided to the supplier. Anyway, there is no response received from the supplier. Let's open some other one, Ariba tool. So here you can see Chris Hat IT School has provided the response. When I go to the award, I don't see an option to create contract workspace from here. I only have scenario and I have award only. However, if I go to the status as completed and find out an RFP, all these things are completed. That means awarded to a vendor. Let's open one of the RFP. Ariba RFP 920. So this was 3. Suppliers has provided the response when I go to the award. The awarding has been done to Mono IT Solutions for 6049 in quantity 6490. Now I get an option to contract tab. With this, when I down click that, I get an option to create new contract or to add to an existing contract. So in which scenario we create new contract and which scenario we create an existing contract. Before I do this RFP activity, I already created a contract. Then we'll click on this. For example, you have created a contract workspace. Then your team told, hey, we are looking at some additional furniture. Can you please get quotation for that? Then you got the quotation by the time already content was created. Then you select add to existing contract and you add to the existing. When you click on add to existing contract, you will select the supplier, add to existing contract. If any of the contracts are created with this supplier name, I should able to see that particular contract workspaces. Then I can add this item to this particular contract. Okay, I'll click on done. I'm not adding it actually. So I'm going to create a new contract workspace by selecting contract, create new contract. This is very similar to what you click from here and click a contract also. But since you are creating via sourcing project, all the field values will be copied over to your contract workspace also, which I'm going to show. You can only create one contract workspace for one supplier only. Suppose if you have given award to 2 suppliers, then you have to perform this activity 2 times. You have to create with one supplier, then come back, go to the award and select another supplier, create account. It's not possible to create one contract with multiple suppliers. Click on create new contract. So what is that you want to create? Workspace procurement. So obviously the title of the contract workspace. So this is Manoj IT Solutions. I will say the supplier name Manoj. This can be, you can agree with your vendor. What is the format? They want to use the name of the project. I will say minority. What is the commodity? ITCS, consumables or something ITCS. And I also want to know the contract manager. Sanjay is the contract manager. And I will also include the date I am creating the project. So by doing this, so when I search for Manoj IT, all the contracts created for Manoj will be visible, or as such for the sorry Manoj will be visible. IT is the commodity. Sanjay is the buyer or the contract manager. Name, the date is when he has created it. You can provide description about the project demo for ATM fans. Okay, then let's discuss something related to it. If you are having any reference to your external system, that it can be maintained here. This is a text field. You can add whatever the reference we are having, whether it is a test project. No, since you are creating from scratch, we will not be copying from the contract. Maybe next time, next year, if I want to renew something or creating another content with this supplier, then I use the copy from the contract option. So all these details will be filled out quickly. Long ways master agreement. No, this will be a standalone agreement independent. What is the contract amount from? 6,000 was showing right. So I will select 7,000. I will select US dollars. 7,000 US dollars is the contract amount. Now automatically predecessor project is selected. Untitled sourcing project 92. That was the project name from where I am creating the contract workspace. Agreement date. As I mentioned, this could be any date, maybe the current date or the past date. Effective date. The contract is going to be effective from today until June 30th. Does this have any notice period? No, this is only one time purchase or something. I do not have any notice period. Copy all the documents from the parent project. Do you want to copy the documents from this particular event here? Not required. Copy all the project groups. Yes, let it be the project groups. If anything is there, I want to copy. If any documents are there, so I want to copy. No problem, because I will be storing all the documents in my contract workspace. Then the next step, the flow of your contract execution will be from this particular space. Contract workspace Sanjay the 425. This is the template I am using. Do you use supplier paper? This contract, who will be creating it? So whether it is created by the supplier or we are going to prepare the contract and send to the supplier. If I am going to prepare, I will select as yes. I am not going to use the supplier paper. Sorry, do you use supplier paper? No. So what is supplier paper? The agreement which I am creating now is prepared by the supplier. Then I am just putting a signature. In that scenario, I will select yes, I want to use the supplier paper. If not, I am going to prepare in my letterhead and send it to him for signature. He has to accept. So in that scenario, I will say no. Does this require VP approval? The value is very less only, so it does not require any VP approval. Based on this is user's question. So this we can able to configure in contract workspace or source in project as well, based on this selection. The inside of the contract template, I will have different flows so that we are going to discuss. Anywhere, click on Create Now Your Contract. Workspace will get created before that. The system is asking what you want to do after executing this contract. If I want to send this to an external system like ECC, then the first option, create contract line item. Document, if not, create pricing temp Excel document. So the item, there are two items. Something we have selected, right? That items will be created as an Excel file. That will be used as a contact option. So I click on OK. Contact workspace is created CW28090. This is also CW28090. Let's go ahead and discuss today on the Ariba. We just created, I think, one content from the sourcing event. Then we will be creating a contract workspace in today's session. So let's open the content workspace which we have created yesterday by going to contracts document. End. Okay, so this is the page once you created a contract from sourcing project. Let me keep this into a full view. Okay, so as we discussed, this is your contract overview. You will be having contract attributes. Attribute section will give you details about the supplier. What is they? Contract amount, contact term. Attributes will give you what type of a contract we are creating it. So for example, if I go to contract term attributes, click on edit term attributes, I would be seeing three types of contract types. One is fixed, where I am expected to give effective date, the starting date, the expiration date, the contract end date. I can also include expiration email recipient in addition to the standard project owner. If you want this to be notified by somebody else also, you can include in. Let me see if I can include for outsiders as well. Yeah, I can even include outsiders as well into the notifications. Okay, then email notification. So when the contact is expiring, I can also enable notification. When the first notification has to be triggered, that is 25 days before the contract expiry, that is 30th June. If it is ending around 5th June, you will be receiving a notification. A reminder will come every 7 days until you take an action. Suppose if your notice period is having if your content is having a notice period, you can also define that. Once I enter the notice period, system is telling that notice period is going to start from May 31st. And I can also add additional recipient who will be receiving the notice period notifications as well. Then accordingly, I can even configure notification reminders as well. So 31st, 25 days. Maybe I'll just put it 15 days, the approximate. In May middle, the system will notify you saying that you are under notice period. So all these things can be configurable. Now there is another type of a content. What is that? Perpetual content. That means it's an evergreen content. There is no expiry on the content. So in this scenario, since we have selected as a fixed and an enter, it will not overwritten. You need to remove the expiration date. Then once you click on OK, this contract will go forever without any end date. As of now, if you don't have an end date, then how you have to close a contract? You can go to the contract from edit attributes. Then there is an option to close. Then the contract will come to the closure. There is an auto renew type. So when you select auto renew, how many months you want to renew it? So I'll go on to renew every 1 year, that is 12 months. How many times I want to do the regular one time means, suppose my expiration date is 31st March, okay? When I keep it to auto renewal on the 31st March 2026, the contract will be renewed. for 12 months and it will only do one time of the renewal. Suppose if I keep it 5 years. By clicking this 5, then every year, every 12 months, this river will be renewing the content on 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. So there is another 5 times the event. The expiration date will be triggered automatically. If you don't have any action, then the contract is auto-renewing. This is also one good method because we will be receiving a notification during expiry of each of the year, and then you can take a decision if you want to continue the contract or you take a decision to terminate your contract. So let's go to the anyway, anything is fine for me, so I'll just click OK. So suppose if you don't want the contract, go to the action. Click on close closure of your contract. Once you make all the changes or all the requirements completed, you need to come to contract attributes actions. Click on publish. Once you click publish, then the contract comes to active. That means from the day you have published on the day of effective day, the contract will get be acted. Until that it is in a draft mode. That means the contract is not effective. Alright? Let's go to the document. So these documents are coming from 2 places. One is from the template I have used, and second from the sourcing project where I have copied all the template. In R91 there is one document which is available. Contract agreement, there is one. This is coming from the template. This is also coming from the template. Pricing time. When I selected with the time of creation, I asked to create a pricing time. Then system has created the pricing time. When I click on view details download, I'm downloading the file from sourcing. That means contact header. So the details of your contact header will be available here, which is coming from your sourcing. Item level detail. Apple iPhone product number, what is the price? 649. How much quantity? 10 quantity. 490 would be the contract amount. This is automatically coming from your sourcing event. Add a line item detail. What are all the questions we have asked and what is the response the supplier has provided? General terms and condition, real scenario section, attribute value 1.1. Are you ISO certified? The answer is yes. Please specify yearly turnover 50 million. Section commercial detail. We don't have anything under commercial detail. The item attributes, this is your line item. 6049 quantity 10 extended price is 64 line mean. All this information coming from your sourcing event. Click on that. Going to the task. So before you publish, if you go here and click on action attribute, click on publish. System would expect that you complete all the pending tasks. This is a kind of a governance you are doing in a contract. That if I want to execute this contract, I have to complete mandatorily these 5 tasks. When I go to the task, I should be able to see the tasks, which are all mandatory. By going here when I select required or optional tasks. And from the table options menu, expand all. Then you would able to see optional task is, this is an optional task, this is optional task, this is also optional. What is the optional task? The task cannot be mandatory. If it is required, you can do that. Otherwise, you can ignore this particular task or you can cancel this particular task. When I am in an optional menu, when you go to the action, there is an option to cancel optional task and system will tell me if I don't need this task, please cancel it. I can do that so that I will have a cleanup of the task. Also, if we go back, required task. So wherever you see the red asterisk mark, then that task is mandatory. Without this, I will not be able to publish my contract. Let's do one by one the task required and optional. Please verify team member. This is an optional task. If I want to cancel, I can directly. Sorry. View task details. Then I can mark the task as cancelled. Also, or if I want to perform this activity, please verify team members. I will say mark started. When I do this mark started, the system will mark the task as in progress and the phase is also started now. Currently, this is in progress phase. In this particular phase, there is only one task. Once I complete this task, automatically this phase also will get updated. So the phase will be identified at the overview to know the status if anybody looking at this contract versus they know that currently this project is under preparation phase, which is showing as an arrow mark saying that is a running item now. I will go back to the task. Now prepare, verify the team member. I will go to the Teams tab. So all these team members, I am going to add who is audit. That person. I am going to add it the time being. I am adding RNet world to all the users. Except Vice President. Everything has been added. Click OK. I have done this activity. Then I will come back to the task and I'm going to mark my task as complete. Once I complete it, you could see this. The task has been tick marked. When I go to the overview, you should be able to see the task has been completed. Now all the task is not yet started. So review for agreement template. However, on this particular task, there is a document which is saying agreement template. You can verify what documents are available in the document tab as well. Agreement template. So where is this agreement template here? Okay, currently this is in a draft status when I go to this one. So review of the agreement. What is the system is saying? You verify the document which is available. So I will say view task details. I will specify do date as 16th. I am going to ask my supervisor to review the document. So I have prepared the document. So I am expected to download this document, make the changes and I upload it. Then I am going to send it to the supervisor for approval. So the test. This is your task. Detail. Task history review flow. Who has to approve? Reviewer has to approve. So reviewer is a project. Group. Under the project group, I have added ORAN as well as the member. Now I am going to submit the task for approval at any task which you are working on. When you look at view task detail on the task board on your page, on the left hand side topmost panel, you will see the task name. What kind of a task it is? Review task means you are asking somebody to review the document you have prepared, whether it is okay or not. In review task, you also get an option. The reviewer can upload, revise the document. Suppose he has made any changes or he suggested some changes, he can do it and he can upload back also. Now I acting as a reviewer, so I going to complete review. Okay, so I mentioning the details reviewed, added some content, something like that. Whatever the description I want to give, I can choose. The file, the revised document, again upload it. I'll just add some document here. Okay, then click on OK. System is saying you have downloaded agreement template, but the file you are loading is a different one. The revised file name does not match the reference of. There you can ignore this message if you are sure this is the correct file. Otherwise, delete the attachment and go ahead. I know that so, but however, I want to continue with this one, click on OK. Now, when I go to this document, view task detail, this person has reviewed and I got a message. Also saying that review added some content and this is the document has loaded. I'm okay with this document. I'll mark this as mark complete. Also, I will go into update this template using the template which I have received it, or if you want to send it again, you have made whatever this person has told, then you can start a new round also. All these things are possible under review task. If you don't have any further rounds, then you can mark this task as complete. Click on OK. Review for task has been completed. Now approval for the agreement. So I'll click this task. View task detail. Same. So the approval has also 16 and customer says to the approval. Contract manager has to approve. So if I'm part of the contract manager, current love is in Memda, so click done. Submit the task for approval. As an approver, I do only have two choices when I select the system. Little time it will take it because there are so many people in that particular group. So once it is done, I should able to see the approve button here. Or else I'll click view task detail. Approval flow. Contract manager system is refreshing because it has to start all these people to add to the particular task. So as an approver or a reviewer, I will be receiving an email. So when I click that email, so it will take me to this particular task. Then I can take it action, or I can go to my to-do boss and I can approve this document. Let's see if we can able to approve via to-do task approval for agreement template Manoj IT Sanjay. Approval for agreement template Manoj IT Sanjay. When is the due date? Approval view task detail. When is the due date? I have mentioned. Is font funsive? I will go to my to task, manage my task. I will select due date as 16. That is, it is on this week or next week. Next week, select next week. So, whatever the task, which are all, I think it is not refreshed. Let's say this week. These are all the tasks which is pending for this week. Project. Manoj Eke Center. So it's not picking me yet. Let me see if in the Metodo will be getting this. Again, Mitas Manoj AIT Sanjay approval. Approval. I think it is taking a time. So let's again filter down next week. You're able to see the task at the next week. Yeah, it has taken little time. So I can see the project. I can take my approval directly from the system here, or I can go to the email when I click. It will take you to this particular place. Now what I am doing, I am in home page. I am run it well. So I'll go to manage my task. Then I will select overdue task for the next week. So this is the task, then I can directly up to. From here I can view the task for edit the task. If I'm having a permission, I can do that also. In your home page, there is a calendar that should also show. Let's do that also. Calendar 16. Overdue to do this week needs reviewed. Let's refresh this page as well. And that calendar next week to do this week needs submitted tasks with alerts. You know it's again taking you to the home page only so when you select from here next week. View the task detail. So he is asking for an approval for this agreement. So either I can have two options. Only in the review time you get an option to review and send one more round and all. But in approval you only have two things, either approve or deny only. I'll click OK. So that is the difference between review task and an approval task. Once it is approved, now I'll go back to the home page. Open my project. Now approval task has been completed. If you want to expand all this, go here. Click on expand all. This phase also completed. Now you could see the second phase also completed. Remaining task is getting reduced because earlier it was 5, I think. Now 2 has been reduced. Approval for a contract workspace. So here I am force completing the task. So this permission force completing the task will be given to an administrator who is having a role called task administrator. Once you give him, he will get an option to force complete that. This task would be helpful. Suppose if there is a task by mistakenly going for a senior management but you do not want that to be go to them. So Mayor, that senior management is done in leave. He has taken an offline approver to approve it. In such scenario, the administrator can mark this task as post completed task. So at what status you want to complete, approved status or cancelled status? I want to approve as a upload task. Click on no execution. Negotiation for signature. That's also I'm marking complete directly. There is one signature task, contract signature, when I click view task data. This is a signature task. What is it is expecting in a signature task when I mark this task? Let's start the task. So signature means you are asking the user to get signed on a paper. So the document associated with this task is a folder in order to submit this task. At least one document under the folder must be marked as published. So what you are sending? Signature. You are sending signature. There is a folder. Click on that. Click on open inside of. That there is no document. Then what is that I'm sending to the signature? The system is asking me, send some documents. So I'm going to add one document for the signature. I can also upload the document inside also. Let's select create document, copy document, explore the same contract workspace. I want to do that. I want to select from my project itself. Let's do that. Good. Telling the project creation date today. So let us start by Voronet Vol owner just trying to add inside the project itself. Project and file is only picking up, not the other document. That's okay, so click cancel. I'll go back to the Documents tab. I want to send this document to move to the signature. So this is directly available why I am struggling. So I am copying the document from mine. So this is the document which was reviewed that has been moved to the signature folder. Here I have to publish also because I have reviewed and I have done all the changes. Once I click publish, then I should be able to create the signature task. So when I go to the contract signature now, system is asking, what is the signature you want to get it? Adobe Sign or DocuSign or Pepper signature? Adobe means we should be having an Adobe administrator account. Then once I submit for an approver, so the approver via Adobe Sign will be sent to the signature. That person will receive an email once he clicks the document and he can put his digital signature. Submit it. Then the document will come back to here and I can mark the task as complete. That is via Adobe Sign. Similarly with the document also, there are two vendors which are EBA supports. Digital signature and third option, manual. So what is the manual? I am sending the document, a physical copy, a soft copy, and I will ask my supplier to download and put the signature and upload it back. That's called paper signature. So I'm going to continue this. Contract signature as a paper signature, click OK. So when is the date? I want to do it by today itself and I'm going to where I want. The finite document needs to be pulled. So I want to put it under signature. Only I am going to click on submit. So now I will go to put that task by going to the edit the task. Okay, come down, choose the file. Once you have the signature done, the document, you are going to load the file. There is something, I am loading it, then click OK. After that, I should able to mark this task as complete. Alright, so then there are two additional tasks. Create seal ID notification for this. This is going to be R2 triggered, so we don't need to take any action. Now my contract is ready for closure or activated. When I close and click on publish, the contract is now published. Once the status will move to the published and version 1 will be created. Now I will not be able to make any more changes. I will not be able to add additional documents or I will not able to run any task or anything. Could I do that? Only mark cancellation only can do, but I will not able to start any task. Also, there is two pending tasks. So, for example, if I want to start, I will not get any of these options as mark start data. The only thing is I can cancel that. So, that's not A since it is an optional task. Also, I will not be able to add any team members. That edit option will not be there. I will not able to add any documents as well. So, nothing will be possible. You can download the document just as a reference documents, clear any questions on execution of contract workspace. Alright, now we come to a conclusion that contract has been successfully published. Now it is effective as well. The date of 10th April onwards, the contract is effective until 2026 and we have auto renewal. So the contract will keep on going. Now I found that I want to add some additional member into this group. Procurement manager got changed. I want to add him. How I can able to do that? By going to the overview, actions amendment. When I'm doing this action, so my purpose here is just to change the team member only. There is nothing else which I want to do it. So then when I click amend, I do get multiple options. There are 4 options will come. What is the purpose? Renewal. Suppose my contract is going to expire in the next month. Then if I want to renew, then I use the renewal type of an amendment. So the purpose of my amendment is to renew the contract. Second amendment, this is a full amendment. With this type, you will able to change anything in the contract workspace. You can create new tasks. You can delete some tasks. You can add. All those things can be done during amendment. It's a full amendment. Administrative. So like I changing only a team member because we are not changing anything in the contract. It's only for the administrative changes which I want to make it. Probably I want to add some description. All those things I can able to do via administrative. Then the termination. Suppose in the middle of the something, if you are terminating or closing the contract, you can also do that. So as my purpose is to add a team member, I'm selecting administrator. And I'm going to say team member addition and description update. Click on OK. Once I do that, the status of the contract will not change. However, I do get an option to make the change by going to the team member action, edit. Now I will be adding the procurement manager one more time, both of them, and I click OK. Now we will come to overview action edit to overview the date of the demo of the batch. Map batch, add new procurement manager to the team. Actually, you are not supposed to. This is not the purpose of adding the description. This is about the project, just for your reference. I am doing it. So if you want to make some changes here, that is possible when you are doing an administrative amendment. 1 second next. Now I can also verify what and all I can able to do via documents I can upload. One document that permission is given when I go to the task. Should I able to create any task? That is not possible. I can go to the team member. I have done that, so now I come back here. Publish complete amendment. When I do the complete amendment, you can see version 2 also created. However, the status is not changed. It is remain only in publishing status only. However, version 2 has been completed. If you want to look at the version history, go to the action. Click on view details. Then under the version history, you should be able to see administrative amendment. When done, what is that? They have added it in amendment, so that is also done. Now I'm going to click done now. If you want to know what is the template I have used for this particular project. How I know action view overview. Under template question, you should be able to see the template. Name workspace and ZO3425. This is the template I have used and this is my question. Sorry, the answers I have provided during the project creation. So I'll click done. Now I will be showing you another time, that is full amendment. When I select full amendment, you would be seeing amendment. Full amendment. Click OK. You could see the status is being changed. Draft amendment. Now again, you will be able to add so many things. Action, all these things you can do. Task you can able to do. Team you can able to modify. So all things are possible during draft amendment. Once you make all these changes, let's say I will change one of the rule here. Earlier scenario we have mentioned, Vice President approval is not required. Now I want to make the change. I'll go to the edit overview template questions. Does this require VP approval? Yes, click OK. When I go to the task now, I should be seeing one task is mandatory and then the approval task. I'm having VP approval. So then I am submitting this for VP approval by selecting view task details. Select the date. Unfortunately, I will not able to mark this task as complete because VP, there is no member is available. So I can able to complete only one task. Let me do that. By selecting test, click on server VP approval. So as a view task detail, so under approval flow, finance team. Under finance team, Wardenet Clove is the member, so he can able to approve it. However, VP approval, I will not able to do that. So I'm going to click on approve. Now, after approving, only VP will be receiving a message saying that you have to provide an approval. Since I don't have that approval, then what I'm going to do? View task details. Approval flow exit. I'm going to mark complete this task course. Complete the task. This is the only option. Earlier, almost 2 years before, we don't have this course completion task. Then what we have to do? We have to write to Ariba providing all the task details and saying them to complete the task on the back end. Then they will be doing it. But after the releases, they have provided this option to the limited people who are having as a task administrator. They can able to override the approval task. So now I have completed the changes. I have taken VP approval. I will come back to the action and I'm going to publish it. So what I'm trying to show today. So we have seen how to create a contract workspace, how to complete the task, even including to do tasks, approval tasks, review tasks, and signature tasks. And we have also seen amendments, how a contract can be amended, and what are all the different types of amendments available, etc. In today's session, whatever we discussed in today's session is generally done by the end user, not in Ariba Consultant. However, Ariba Consultant is responsible for maintaining this template during amendment phase. What are all the tasks required? During creation, what are all the tasks required? And who has to approve it? Now there is a problem here. We have a VP. That VP is not having any team member. Either I should delegate this option to the user to add the team member under VP, or in the template level, they have to add the bonus so that both is missing. So let's correct that one also, since we are having the area. Now somebody has taken up to you. So saying that, hey, you have created a task. You have created means. So this was during the testing or sometime. It was failed. So now they have asked for correction. So they are saying that, can you please add or Anit 20 as array or some other person as a VP name? How can I do that? So what is the template name we are using here? Action view overview template name TWS Sanjay 30425. Click on copy done. Let's go to the home page. Touch for contract workspace procurement. Enter the contract workspace name. Options templates. Now I'm searching for the template. Click this one. Click on open. So action. Click on full view. Or I can directly click new version. There is no problem. When I click new version now, it is in a draft mode. I will go to the team members. Action. Edit the team. Under VP, I am going to add Warren. Why I was not able to add under Warren is when I select this VP group, click on that group. Here can owner edit this project group? I have marked as a no. That is the reason it is not allowing me. So this is a restriction. So you don't want end user to replace somebody. So now I have added one and Clove. Then I don't need to be worried about it. So if you want to add, for example, legal team, this is also a fixed team that you don't want anybody to change it. Then I select this group and I'll mark this as can. Owner edit this project group. No only, it is also already. No, but the member was provided. Clear. So let's click OK now when I publish this template next time anyone started using this project using this particular template. They will not have the issue because VP will be added with or a netball. However, other than my login or a netball somebody else, if you are having that access and if you try to use this template, you will not able to complete this particular task because it was assigned only to the ORA network. In that scenario, generally what we do in the edit team member, we will leave the group changes as allowed. So then they can add whoever they want. Okay, I'll select OK legal team. Yes, click OK. Click OK. Publish the template. So when I'm publishing in this small view or a compact view, okay. So when I publish from here, any project is created using this template will be having compact view as default. If I keep this in a full view, then when I publish it. So anytime a user is creating the contract workspace using this template, will be having full view. Any questions? In the next session, we are going to look at that template. We are going to create all the phases, tasks, visibility conditions, legal team, etc. All those. Contract workspace template. So that's the reason sourcing project we have not completed the template. So here we are going to do for a fresh template we are going to create and build all the phases, task and everything. So you will be in a position to handle a contract. Workspace template Sanjay. A quick question, like as an end user, are you going to cover an example where we create an MSA and so do in the contract workspace? We just do the same thing, only right. So whatever there is an agreement that has to go by the template. So whatever that flow is there, I have done it. So if you have something in mind, let me know. So in the next session where we are creating a template, we will create in that particular flow. So after that, when we're creating a contract workspace, that will go by that plan only. Okay. So I am going to build a template. I am going to discuss with all of you. So what is that we want to bring into the contract workspace? Once it is done, so you can give me those ideas. So meanwhile, so during these 2 days, you can think of in your company or where you are seeing how the contract is being executed. Let us try to replicate that business process into the template. And finally, do not forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel.